Hello and welcome to the channel. Today I have an incredible story that will warm your heart and inspire your week. On a cold and lonely day, a young woman and an abandoned cat crossed paths, changing their lives forever. This is a journey of hope, overcoming obstacles and love that will move you from start to finish. If you love stories that touch the soul and bring deep messages, subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications so you don't miss any inspiring content. And let us know in the comments which city you are watching us from. We love getting to know each one of you. Now, enjoy this touching story that is about to transform your day. The chilly morning in Boston brought with it a thick fog that enveloped the city, giving a gloomy and melancholic air to the streets. Emily sat on the subway bench, the warmth of the environment contrasting with the cold outside. She looked out the window, but the passing landscape failed to spark her interest. The flickering lights of the stations and the hurried movement of passengers became a distant symphony, an echo of a life that seemed no longer to belong to her. Another day, another routine, she murmured to herself, feeling the weight of monotony in her chest. The subway stopped at a deserted station, and as the door opened, a cutting wind rushed in, bringing with it the sensation of loneliness. The city was alive, but Emily felt like a spectator, a shadow among the hurried people passing by. She stood up and walked toward the escalator, her gaze lost on the floor. That was when something moved in her peripheral vision. A small, dirty, trembling white cat was curled up in a corner near the escalator. Emily's heart skipped a beat. "Oh no," she thought, approaching slowly. "Look at you, poor thing." The cat stared at her with wide, frightened eyes, and Emily crouched down, trying not to scare him further. "Hey, little one, it's okay. I won't hurt you," she said, her voice soft and comforting. The cat hesitated, but Emily's expression, full of empathy, began to break the barrier of distrust between them. "You're so cold," she continued, extending her hand toward him. The cat still trembled, but made a hesitant move in her direction, as if considering the possibility of receiving help. "Come on, you don't have to stay here alone," Emily encouraged, feeling a wave of compassion. "I'll take you to a warm place." With an impulse she didn't understand, Emily got off the subway. The decisive movement made her heart race. She knew she had to go, that she needed to do something. "I think I'll call you Snow," she whispered, as she crouched even closer to the cat, "because you're so white and beautiful." Snow looked at her, and for the first time, something in his expression changed. It was as if he had understood her words, sensing that perhaps there was hope in such a cold world. Emily extended her hand, gently touching the scruffy fur of the cat. He shrank back, but didn't pull away. "Come with me, Snow. Don't worry, I'll take care of you." With a careful movement, Emily picked up the cat in her arms. He struggled for a moment but soon settled, as if realizing he was finally safe. "That's right, it's just a little love and care," she said, looking into his eyes. "Now let's go home. You'll feel much better there." Emily climbed the stairs. The white cat snuggled in her arms. The city, once so desolate, now seemed a little brighter. Each step she took toward her home brought a new hope, not just for Snow but for herself. "Let's start a new journey together," she thought, smiling at the little being who was now a part of her life. As she walked, she felt an instant connection, a bond she hadn't expected to find. The loneliness that had accompanied her for so long began to dissipate, making way for a new possibility of happiness. You and me, Snow. Together, we can overcome anything. Emily held Snow carefully, avoiding the wary gaze the little white cat cast at her. The warm water of the bathroom splashed around as she filled the basin. "It'll be quick, I promise," she murmured, trying to calm him. The truth was that she herself felt nervous, her mind still wandering through the dark thoughts that had accompanied her for days. The cat trembled, his matted fur sticking together, and Emily couldn't help but feel a wave of empathy. With a gentle touch, she began to wet Snow's paws. He squirmed, trying to escape. "Hey, easy, I just want to help you," Emily said, her voice soft as a whisper. The cat, however, didn't seem convinced. He shrank back, his big scared eyes, and she realized she would need more than just soothing words. After a few moments, Emily decided to try a different approach. "Look, I know you're scared, but I promise I will take care of you. I'm good with cats, really," she said, as she gently washed the white fur, trying not to frighten him further. Slowly, Snow began to relax under the touch of the warm water. He closed his eyes, and Emily felt a small thread of hope intertwine in her heart. As she dried the cat with a soft towel, memories of her childhood surfaced in her mind. The image of her grandmother, with her warm smile and bright eyes, filled her memories. "Remember when you taught me to play the piano, Grandma?" Emily whispered, as if she were conversing with her own nostalgia. "You always said that music was magical, that it could heal any pain." As she continued to dry Snow, she could almost hear her grandmother's voice echoing in her mind. "Music has the power to connect us, Emily. Never forget that." The cat, now clean and more relaxed, began to purr softly, as if recognizing the joy in Emily's words. "You know, Snow, you and I aren't so different," she said, looking into the little feline's eyes. "We're both trying to find ourselves again, right? You lost your home and I lost part of myself." Snow, who had been so agitated before, now seemed more at ease, his bright eyes appearing to understand the young woman's pain. "Let's do this together," Emily continued. "You can be my friend, and I promise to take care of you." The connection between the two was forming, a bond beginning to be woven by their shared experiences of loss and loneliness. With a new determination, Emily decided she needed to let the memories of her grandmother transform into something beautiful. "I think you'll like this, Snow," she said, as she picked up an old guitar that had been leaning against a corner of the room. With a hopeful look, she began to play a soft melody, a song her grandmother used to sing. Snow approached, curious, and settled at Emily's feet, listening attentively. The chords danced through the air, and with each note, Emily felt a weight lift from her shoulders. "Look, even you like it," she laughed, glancing at the cat who was now stretching comfortably. "I think music is our salvation." Over time, the room was filled with a sense of warmth and hope. Emily realized that, just as Snow was learning to trust her, she was also beginning to rediscover trust in herself. "And let's do this together, Snow," she declared, her voice firm and full of emotion. "This is just the first of many new adventures we will have." And so, as the music echoed through the apartment, a new journey of healing and rediscovery began to unfold, uniting two lost souls in search of a home. Emily took Snow to the veterinarian on a cloudy day, with the sky heavy with clouds that seemed to reflect her emotional state. The cat was in her lap, curled up in a blanket she had brought from home, still trembling slightly. Upon entering the clinic, she was greeted by the familiar smell of disinfectant, mixed with the soft aroma of pet food and the gentle meows of other animals. The receptionist, a woman with gray hair and kind eyes, smiled upon seeing the duo. "Hi, what a lovely cat. Does he have a name?" the receptionist asked, typing the information into the computer. "Snow," Emily replied, stroking the cat's soft white fur. "I found him at the subway station." "Oh, what a lovely story. I hope he's doing well. Let's take a look at him," said the receptionist, leading them to an examination room. While waiting, Emily couldn't help but worry. What would happen if Snow was really sick? He seemed so vulnerable, and the thought that he might have suffered left her unsettled. When the veterinarian entered, wearing a white coat and a welcoming expression, Emily felt a slight relief. "Hello, I'm Dr. Mendez, and you must be Snow's new mommy," the veterinarian said with a smile. "Let's see how he's doing, all right?" Emily nodded, her breath quickening as the veterinarian examined the cat. Snow became a bit nervous, but soon calmed down when he felt Dr. Mendez's gentle hand. After a few minutes of examination, the veterinarian turned to Emily with a concerned expression. "Snow is dehydrated and malnourished. We need to run some tests, and he will likely need treatment with fluids and a special diet for a few days," Dr. Mendez explained. Emily swallowed hard, guilt tightening her heart. He was so alone. I didn't know he was so bad. It's understandable. Many stray animals go through this. You did a great thing by rescuing him. Now, let's take care of him, the veterinarian assured her as she began to note the necessary procedures. While waiting, Emily heard voices from a group in the next room. The laughter and conversation seemed filled with joy, and she decided to move closer to the door to listen better. What started as a conversation about animal care quickly turned into a sharing of heartwarming stories. "I found my cat, Lila, in a parking lot. She was so scared, but now she's the queen of the house," said a young woman with curly hair, her eyes shining with love. I rescued Max from a cardboard box during a storm. He was so small and fragile, but now he's a real fighter, replied a man with a broad smile, petting a dog beside him. Emily felt touched by these stories. She was not alone in her experience. There was an entire community of people dedicated to caring for needy animals. When Dr. Mendez called her back, she was more determined than ever. Doctor, is there any animal rescue group here? I would love to get involved, Emily asked, her voice full of hope. Yes, there are several organizations that do amazing work. You can connect with them on social media or even volunteer. Many of them have meetings and events that promote adoption and awareness, the veterinarian replied, while finishing the procedures with Snow. That would be wonderful, said Emily, smiling. I feel like I need to do more for them. After the appointment, as she made her way back home, Emily reflected on her life over the past few months. The sadness of losing her grandmother still lingered, like a constant shadow, but now, with Snow by her side and the idea of getting involved with the animal-loving community in her mind, she felt a new light beginning to shine. The music that had once seemed distant now felt closer, as if calling to her. Come on, Snow. We have a lot to do, she whispered, looking at the cat who was peacefully sleeping in her lap. I promise we will find a new beginning. Together. Emily was nervous. The day of her first singing lesson had arrived, and she felt a whirlwind of emotions. While anxiety consumed her, there was a spark of hope that lit up her heart. She looked at Snow, who was cuddled in her lap, and stroked his white fur. Let's go, Snow. Today is a big day for us, she said, trying to cheer herself up. The cat looked at her with his big blue eyes, as if he understood every word. As she entered the classroom, a cozy space adorned with photos of musicians on the walls, Emily was welcomed by a group of smiling people. Hello, you must be the new student. I'm Laura, said a woman with curly hair and a radiant smile. We are so happy you came. Thank you. I'm Emily, she replied, trying to hide her nervousness with a shy smile. As she sat on one of the benches, she watched the other students interacting and laughing. There was something comforting about how everyone seemed united by the same passion. The teacher, a middle-aged woman with a soft and encouraging voice, entered the room and introduced herself. Hello, everyone. My name is Anna, and today we are going to have fun with music. Remember, there's no right or wrong, just the expression of what we feel. Anna's words resonated with Emily, who felt a knot untie in her stomach. When it was her turn to sing, she hesitated. What if I'm not good enough, she thought. But before she could get lost in her thoughts, Anna encouraged her. Emily, how about you start? Sing a song that you love. After a brief moment of silence, Emily took a deep breath and began to sing a song her grandmother used to teach her. The melody floated through the room, and as her voice soared, she felt the emotions that had long been locked inside her. Memories of childhood, laughter, and moments of love mingled with the music. Beautiful voice, Emily, Laura exclaimed, her eyes shining with excitement. You have an incredible talent. Emily's face lit up with the compliment. Thank you. That means a lot to me, she said, a little embarrassed but excited. Snow, who had settled in a basket at the back of the room, watched everything closely, as if he knew that this moment was special for both of them. As she practiced, Emily felt the music flowing through her, each note like a balm for her soul. It was as if the music was helping her heal the wounds left by her grandmother's passing. Anna, noticing Emily's transformation, decided to approach her. You are opening up a lot, dear. Music has this power to connect us with our deepest emotions. Don't be afraid to let it out. It's hard. But I feel like I'm starting to understand the importance of this, Emily replied, her voice trembling. I just want my grandmother to know that I'm doing something she always wanted me to do. She is surely proud of you, Anna said with a warm smile, and so are we. Keep it up. As the lessons went by, Emily began to make friends and feel part of a new family. Each rehearsal became an opportunity for her to express herself, and Snow, always present, became a symbol of her new life. As her peers sang and shared their stories, Emily became more and more confident. One day, while practicing at home, she noticed that Snow was sitting in her lap, watching her with curiosity. Seeing the attentive and loving gaze of the cat, she decided to sing a song about love and hope. "This is for you, Snow," she said, looking directly into his eyes. "We are both in this journey together." And so, through music, Emily began to build her new identity, one step at a time, with Snow by her side, solidifying the bond that united them in a story of love and rediscovery. A storm was rapidly approaching Boston, with heavy dark clouds covering the sky like a sinister cloak. Emily was snuggled on her sofa, a steaming cup of tea in hand, watching the rain hit against the window. Snow, her faithful companion, was curled up in her lap, purring softly. The sense of peace she was experiencing, however, was abruptly interrupted by a deafening clap of thunder that made the cat jump up, his eyes wide with fear. "Calm down, Snow. It's okay," Emily said, trying to soothe him, but the fury of the storm seemed to have taken over the little feline. With a quick movement, Snow jumped from Emily's lap and ran toward the balcony door, scratching the wood as if he wanted to escape. Before Emily could react, he pushed the ajar door with a nervous shove and disappeared into the darkness of the rain. "No, no, no, Snow!" Emily screamed, her heart racing. She quickly got up, running to the door and opening it, but the heavy rain and wind hit her like a wall. "Snow, where are you?" she called, but the only response was the sound of the storm. The feeling of despair overwhelmed her. The little cat was all she had, and now he was lost out there on such a terrifying night. Without thinking twice, Emily put on her coat and grabbed her phone. She needed help. "I will call Sarah," she thought, remembering the camaraderie she had developed with her singing classmates. As she dialed, her mind spun with worry for Snow. "Hi, Emily. How are you?" Sarah's voice sounded on the other end of the line, but Emily didn't have time for pleasantries. "Sarah, I need your help." Snow ran away during the storm. He got scared by the thunder and left. "I'm desperate." Emily's voice was almost in despair, and the fear of not finding Snow consumed her. "Calm down, Emily. We will look for him. I will call the others and meet you at your house in 10 minutes. "Don't worry, we'll find him," Sarah replied, her voice firm and reassuring. With her heart feeling a little lighter, Emily began preparing posters. She used a piece of cardboard she had saved and a pen to draw a picture of Snow, accompanied by a description and her phone number. As soon as her friends arrived, she was ready. "Let's split up the areas so we can cover more ground," suggested one of the friends, Lucas, while looking at the poster Emily had made. "Sarah and I can go left while you and Clara go right. If we find someone who has seen Snow, we'll call you." "Good idea. But please be careful and watch where you step. He must be scared and could be hiding anywhere," Emily asked, her eyes shining with anticipation and concern. "Don't worry, we'll find him," Clara said, placing a comforting hand on Emily's shoulder. "Stay calm. He's a smart cat." The friends set out with the posters in hand, and Emily was left alone for a moment, looking at the door through which Snow had escaped. The storm was still raging outside, but the determination in her heart remained unshaken. She couldn't give up on him. As time passed, Emily began to feel the connection forming between her and her friends. The search for Snow was not just a mission to recover her cat, but also a way to bond with the new community she had found. The laughter and stories shared during the search not only warmed the cold night, but also brought a new sense of belonging. And so, while the rain fell incessantly, hope burned brightly within Emily. She needed to find Snow, but she also realized that, no matter what happened, she was not alone on this journey. The search for Snow intensified, and with each passing hour, Emily felt a stronger connection with her new community. The group of friends she had met in singing class was now like a family to her. Together, they were united in one purpose: to find the white cat that had brought so much light to Emily's life. The streets of Boston, which had once seemed cold and impersonal, now pulsed with the energy of solidarity and love. "Let's split into groups," suggested Lara, a young woman with curly hair and a welcoming smile, as she looked at the city map they had drawn with the areas they had already covered. "If each of us takes a part, we can cover more ground faster." "Good idea, Lara," Emily agreed, feeling grateful for the presence of her new friends. "Let's do that. If each of us can ask a few people, maybe someone has seen Snow." The friends dispersed, but Emily's determination did not wane. She walked along the sidewalks, her heart racing and her mind filled with images of Snow, with his white fur and big, expressive eyes. It was as if the little cat was also in her mind, somehow guiding her. At every corner, she called his name. "Snow! Snow! Where are you?" Her voice echoed through the city, but only the wind responded. After a few hours, the group reconvened in a small square. Hope was beginning to dwindle, and her friends and faces reflected the concern Emily felt. "We can't give up," she said, trying to keep spirits high. "He's around here somewhere. I can feel it." It was then that a sanitation worker approached, pushing his garbage cart. He looked tired, but his expression changed as he noticed the group's agitation. "Excuse me, are you looking for a cat?" he asked, his voice gruff. "Yes, a white cat. His name is Snow," Emily replied, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. "Have you seen him?" The man thought for a moment, tapping his hand on the side of the cart as if trying to remember. "Oh, yes, I saw a white cat near Boston Common earlier. He was by a bench, looked a bit scared, but he was around there." Emily's heart raced. "Are you sure? Is he okay?" "Yes, he looked healthy, just very frightened," the man explained. "I advise you to go there quickly. It's a quiet place. He might have hidden." Thank you so much," Emily exclaimed, feeling revitalized. "Come on, everyone, to Boston Common." The friends exchanged glances, determination reflected on their faces. Together, they ran through the streets, adrenaline pushing them forward. The sky was starting to darken, and the city lights were coming on, creating a magical scene. But the only thing that mattered to Emily at that moment was finding Snow. As they crossed the busy streets, she looked around, calling for the cat. "Snow! Snow! Where are you, my love?" Her voice came out with desperation, but also with a touch of hope. "We're almost there, Em," said Miguel, one of her singing classmates, as he adjusted his backpack. "He must be hiding, but we'll find him." "I know we will," Emily replied, feeling the strength of the words. "He needs us." When they finally arrived at Boston Common, Emily paused for a moment to collect herself. The park was vast, with tall trees and winding paths. "Where are you, Snow?" she whispered, looking around with anticipation. The friends began to disperse again, searching in different directions, but Emily stayed where she was, her eyes fixed on a bench in the distance. Her heart was pounding, as if it were trying to communicate with Snow, as if the love she felt could reach him wherever he was. With a mix of hope and anxiety, she called out again. Snow. The night was shrouded in heavy fog, and the echoes of the storm still reverberated through the city. The lights of Boston Common twinkled like lost stars in the dark sky, and the atmosphere vibrated with a mix of anxiety and hope. Emily was standing on one of the paths in the park, her heart racing, as her friends surrounded her, ready to help her search for Snow. Every flash of lightning illuminating the sky seemed to bring with it a wave of fear, but also a spark of determination. "Come on, everyone. We need to find Snow," Emily said, her voice trembling with emotion. "He doesn't know the park and might be scared." The friends, who until then were strangers, united in a common purpose. They spread out across the park, each carrying a flashlight and a photo of Snow that Emily had printed. "If you see anything, shout," said Lucas, one of the guys from the group, as he looked around, trying to find any sign of the little white cat. Emily walked slowly, calling for Snow with each step. "Snow, where are you, my love?" "I'm here." Her voice echoed among the trees, but the only response was the whisper of the wind and the crackle of branches. With each call, her heart tightened a little more. The fear that something had happened to her faithful companion consumed her. The mist made everything darker, and the flashlight beam seemed unable to penetrate the deep shadow surrounding the park. Emily paused for a moment, leaning against a tree trunk, trying to gather her thoughts. "He must be around here somewhere," she murmured to herself. "I can't give up." Suddenly, a sanitation worker, pushing a cart through the wet leaves, stopped her. "Miss, are you looking for a cat?" he asked, his accent revealing his origins. "I saw a white cat around here a little while ago near a bench. It looked scared." Emily's heart raced. "You saw a white cat? His name is Snow. Do you know where exactly?" Her voice was filled with hope. "Yes. Near that bench over there," the man said, pointing to a more distant area of the park. "But he seemed very scared. If you go over there, be careful." Thank you. Thank you so much. Emily wasted no time and started running toward the bench, her friends right behind her. Snow, I'm coming, she shouted, adrenaline pushing her forward. As she approached the bench, Emily could see a small shape curled up on the ground. Her heart stopped for a moment. It was Snow, trembling and with wide eyes, as if he had been waiting for her. The sight of the cat, so vulnerable and alone, made her feel a mix of relief and pain. Snow, Emily called, her voice now soft and sweet. It's you, my little one, I'm here. But even upon hearing the familiar call, Snow hesitated, curling up even more and looking around suspiciously. He's so scared, whispered Anna, a friend standing next to Emily. I think you need to approach calmly. You're right, Emily replied, taking a deep breath. Snow, look at me. It's me, Emily. Come here, please. She slowly crouched down, opening her arms, trying to convey safety. With a slight movement, Snow looked directly into her eyes, and something inside him seemed to change. He began to move, hesitantly, but clearly drawn by the familiar voice. Come on, Snow. I won't hurt you. We're together, always, Emily said, encouraging him as if she were talking to a scared child. The cat took a step forward, then another. When he finally approached, Emily could see the dirt on his white fur, but none of that mattered now. What mattered was that he was there, alive and just a few steps away from her. The connection between them felt stronger than ever. With love and tenderness, Emily reached out her hand. That's it. Come here. Snow. I'm so glad you're safe. When the cat finally got close enough, she picked him up in her arms and hugged him tightly, feeling his body trembling with fear, but also with relief. I found you, she whispered, tears of joy streaming down her face. Snow, now in her arms, slowly relaxed, knowing he was home again. Emily was in a state of mind that oscillated between euphoria and relief. After hours of anguished searching, she finally had Snow in her arms. The little white cat, now clean and well-fed, nestled against her chest, feeling her heartbeat like a lullaby. The rain began to fall, but it didn't matter. The storm that had settled in her soul seemed to have dissipated with their reunion. You're safe now, Snow. I'll never let you go out like that again, she murmured, gently stroking the cat's fur. Snow looked up at her with those big blue eyes, and for a moment, it seemed he understood every word she said. He purred, a soft sound that filled the space between them, like a silent promise that together they could face any storm. As they walked back home, the city was illuminated by a golden light from the sunset. The streets, which had once seemed cold and desolate, now had a new glow. Emily felt that the journey was not just about finding Snow, but also about rediscovering herself. I'm going to do something special for you and for my grandma, she said, looking at the cat, who now seemed like an extension of her own soul. When they got home, Emily sat on the couch, with Snow still in her lap. She remembered all the moments they had shared since she rescued him. Look, Snow, I know you can't talk, but I want you to know that you've taught me so much about love and trust, she said in a serene tone. The cat, as if he understood, nudged his head against her hand, a gesture that made her smile. Emily's mind was buzzing with ideas. I should do a recital, she said aloud, as if testing the idea. A recital dedicated to you and Grandma. It's a way to celebrate everything we've been through together. Snow perked up his ears, curious about the enthusiasm emanating from the young girl. Emily began to imagine the illuminated stage, with her at the center, singing songs that reflected her journey of pain and overcoming. Music has always been an important part of my life, hasn't it? She said, looking into the cat's eyes. Grandma always said that music heals the soul. Determined, Emily picked up her guitar, which had been forgotten in a corner of the room. As she strummed the strings, a gentle melody began to flow. It was a song she had composed when she was younger, but she had never had the courage to play it publicly. Come on, Snow. I need your help, she joked, looking at the cat who was watching her attentively. You can be my biggest fan. She began to sing, her soft voice filling the room. The music spoke of hope, love, and the strength we find in the little things. Snow, with his bright eyes, seemed enchanted, as if he were listening to a story that only he could understand. "This is for you, Snow," she said, pausing to pet the cat, "and also for my grandma, who always believed in me." After finishing the song, Emily felt a wave of emotion. Tears welled up in her eyes, not from sadness, but from joy and gratitude. "I can finally do this," she murmured, wiping her tears. "I can honor you, Grandma, and everything you meant to me." Snow purred louder, as if supporting her decision. With renewed spirit, Emily began to plan the recital. "I will invite all my friends from singing class, and maybe even the neighbors," she said, imagining the room filled with people who supported her. "And you, my little Snow, will be our special mascot." That night, as the city of Boston quieted under the moonlight, Emily felt stronger and more connected than ever. Music truly had the power to heal, and her journey with Snow was just beginning. "Together, we will make magic," she whispered, looking at the cat who was now her most faithful companion. And with that, hope blossomed in her heart, promising a future full of music, love, and new beginnings. The atmosphere was charged with emotion in the small auditorium, softly lit by the warm lights of the spotlights. Friends, family, and even a few strangers filled the seats, all gathered for Emily's recital, a young girl who had found courage and purpose in her music, just like a little white cat who accompanied her in spirit. The murmur of conversations faded when she stepped onto the stage, with Snow nestled in a carrier, watching closely from the outside, as if sensing the importance of the moment. Emily took a deep breath, her fingers trembling slightly as she touched the piano. "This first song is dedicated to someone very special," she said, looking at the audience. "My grandma always believed in me, even when I doubted myself. And, of course, to Snow, who showed me that we are never alone, even in the darkest times." She began to play the first notes of a soft, melancholic melody, a composition she had written in honor of her grandmother. The music flowed like a serene river, its notes filling the space and touching the hearts of everyone present. Emotions reflected on her face, and many in the audience had tears in their eyes. "How beautiful," whispered a friend, holding another's hand as a shy smile blossomed on Emily's lips. She closed her eyes for a moment, letting herself be carried away by the music, feeling her grandmother's presence by her side, as if the spirit of the older woman were there, encouraging her. At the end of the song, the audience erupted in warm applause. Emily smiled, a glow of happiness and relief lighting up her face. "Thank you. Now, I would like to play something more cheerful," she said, getting excited with the audience's energy. "This is a song about hope and about finding light in dark moments." She began to play a more upbeat piece, and soon the audience joined in with claps, creating a contagious rhythm. Emily could see smiling faces, people getting up and tapping their feet on the floor, and it made her feel like she was truly connecting with them. Snow, who was watching everything from his corner, seemed to relax, the tension of his little journey disappearing as the music filled the room. "You are amazing, Emily," shouted one of her singing class friends, raising his arms in approval. "The music you make is pure magic." With her confidence growing, Emily decided it was time to open up more to those who supported her. "This next song is about the bonds we form, even in moments of solitude. Sometimes we need a little help to find our way back," she said, looking tenderly at Snow, who was watching her with his big, bright eyes. The music began, and her words resonated deeply. "When life becomes a maze and hope seems distant, remember that you are not alone, that love can always guide us." The applause grew, and the audience was completely captivated, some even wiping away tears. The connection Emily was creating with her music was palpable, and she could feel those notes touching not only her heart, but also those of everyone present. As she finished the song, a reverent silence filled the auditorium before the audience erupted into deafening applause. Emily smiled, winking at Snow, who had leaned against his carrier, looking calm and happy. "And this is for you, Snow," she declared, with a sparkle in her eyes, "for showing me the way back to music and to myself." As the applause echoed, Emily felt a wave of gratitude. Her journey, marked by loss and solitude, was now intertwined with love and hope. The music was not just a form of expression, but a bond that united her with everyone present. and she knew that this was just the beginning of something much greater in her life. The auditorium was packed, the atmosphere charged with anticipation. The lights went out, and the soft glow of the spotlight illuminated the stage, where Emily was about to give the recital she had dreamed of for so long. Her heart was pounding, not only from anxiety but from the joy of finally expressing her emotions through music. Snow, settled in a small transport box next to his friend, watched with curious eyes. The connection between them was palpable. Every note Emily was about to play would be dedicated to him and to her grandmother, the woman who always believed in her. After the performance, as the applause echoed, a man of medium height with gray hair approached Emily. He had a gentle demeanor and a smile that radiated warmth. "You were amazing, Emily. Your voice is like a gentle breeze, full of life and emotion," he said, holding a small bouquet of flowers. "Thank you. I'm so touched by your words," Emily replied, still catching her breath. "I'm so happy you came. I couldn't miss this opportunity. I am your grandmother's music teacher, and I always believed you had a special talent," he said, his eyes shining with memories. "She spoke of you with such pride. She always said that one day you would shine." Emily felt a lump form in her throat. "She always encouraged me to sing, even when I lost hope. I did this for her." The teacher's expression softened, and he nodded. "She had a unique way of seeing the potential in people. I remember when you were just a child, and she would bring me your homemade recordings. She was so eager to show how much you had grown." The man paused, as if reliving those moments. "She always said you had a voice that could touch souls." Tears began to well up in Emily's eyes. "I wish she were here to see this, to see how I've truly returned to music." She looked down, the emotion weighing heavily in her heart. Snow, sensing his owner's sadness, meowed softly, as if trying to comfort her. "She is here, Emily. In every note, in every emotion you express, music is a way to keep her alive within you," he said, looking deeply into her eyes. "And I can assure you that she is listening and prouder of you now more than ever." Resting her head on his arm, Emily took a deep breath and let the tears slide down her face. "Thank you for reminding me of that. I truly feel like I found a new family, both with Snow and with all of you who came to support me. You are not alone, Emily. Music creates bonds, and you are now part of a community that believes in you. Never forget that," the teacher said, with an encouraging smile. "I won't forget," she replied, feeling a new determination blossom within her. "I intend to keep singing, for myself, for Snow, and of course, for my grandmother." The teacher smiled widely. "That's what she always wanted. And remember, I am here to help you further enhance your talent. You have a bright future ahead." As they talked, Emily realized that the connection between past and present was stronger than ever. The love her grandmother had given her and the new bond she had formed with Snow and her music community intertwined like the notes of a melody. Today was just the beginning, she thought, looking at Snow, who was still watching the scene with his big, bright eyes. "Let's do this together, Snow," she murmured, petting the cat. "You and me, always together." And in that moment, Emily understood that both she and Snow had found not only a home, but also a place where they could share hope, love, and above all, music. Which moment of this story touched your heart the most or left you speechless? Share it in the comments. We really want to know your opinion. Your participation is essential for us to continue bringing exciting stories like this. If you think this story can inspire someone, share this video right now with your friends and family. Let's spread messages of hope and love together. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't waste any time. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and leave your like to support our work. That way, you'll be the first to know when we publish new stories that promise to move and transform. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next journey full of emotions and learning.